Welcome back to Pathfinders. My name is Erin. When my first son was born in 2001, I did a lot of research. It was my first child. I was feeling a lot of anxiety about the subject of vaccinations, of whether or not I was going to choose to vaccinate. So I did a lot of research, a lot of study, read a lot of books, and educated myself as much as I possibly could on the subject. So I decided then, after all this research, that I was not going to vaccinate my son. I felt I had done my due diligence, and I had therefore reached the conclusion that the immune system that God has given us, that the creator of humanity has given us, is incredibly powerful and perfectly designed in order to keep us well when we put in the proper ingredients into our bodies, and we maintain a environment that will produce perfect health. And I had already cured myself of multiple health issues. I grew up in the 1970s when fast food came on the scene, and my parents didn't know that it was really not good for me, especially with my particular makeup and my particular system. I was not able to digest those types of food alternatives properly. My body is very particular about what it needs. Now, I have learned a lot about my own makeup, my own body system. Many people are able to successfully process that type of food alternatives, but my system is very, like I said, very particular. So I had incredible stomach issues as a child. I even had a colonoscopy at, like, I don't know, 10 years old or something, maybe even younger, because I was having such tremendous pain. I would be up at night screaming in pain, and my parents and the doctors just couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So when I moved out of the house at 18 years old, and I was experiencing tremendous migraines, I was still having these stomach issues, I decided that I was going to figure this out myself, and I went all organic. And for about 6 months to a year, I really thought I was dying. Like, what was wrong with me? Because I was detoxing from almost 18 years of a diet that was not producing health for me, but it was producing all sorts of problems. So I began to detox, and I was literally throwing up for months and months and months, and just cleansing my system. I didn't realize at the time that's what I was doing. I really thought, I became kind of scared because I didn't know what was going on. But as I was removing the toxins from my body, and I was only giving my body like clean organic food, and let me tell you, I didn't have any money. I was 18 years old living in an apartment. I didn't have extra money. I wasn't making a lot of money, but I made a conscious decision to only purchase organic food because I needed to get my health back. I needed to get rid of these headaches that were plaguing me, and I did. So after time of cleaning my diet and only putting in, I quit eating all white sugars, all white flours, all processed foods, and I bought organic as much as I possibly could, especially when it was on sale. And this was over 25 years ago. I'm 45 years old. I'll be 46. And um, people have a hard time believing that I'm that old, because I truly believe that white sugar and white flour and your diet plays a huge role in the aging process. So because I cut out all white sugars and all white flours over 25 years ago, when I was only like 18 or 19 years old, I feel like I'm aging a lot slower than some people who have indulged in, lots of processed foods, lots of white flours, white sugars. They will definitely age you. So I'm thankful that I learned how to cure myself of these stomach ailments. My family does have a history of colon cancer, so I'm thankful that I was able to learn how and to take care of my body so that I would not be a victim of colon cancer, which I believe truly all disease does start in the colon. If you're not cleaning out your body regularly and your colon's backed up, then obviously it's really simple if you think about it, that where are those toxins going to go if you're not cleaning them out of your body regularly? And I was very much, my colon was a mess, and I wasn't getting rid of the toxic chemicals that I was putting into my body with this food. So anyway, no longer do I have stomach issues or headaches unless I indulge in some white sugar or white flour. I try not to. Sometimes it's almost impossible to avoid it. And so I do try to avoid it. And, over the years, I've been ridiculed. I've been made fun of because I didn't eat white sugar. People called me paranoid, crazy, kind of like a health nut. But I just don't want to have any more headaches or stomach ailments. So I removed those products from my life, and I am now, I've experienced pretty much perfect health for the last 25 years. I haven't been on a doctor's appointment for 25 years. Now, back to my children. So after learning how to take care of myself and not put in toxic chemicals into my own body and beginning to experience radiant health, I then became a mother. And I thought, I'm definitely not going to put these products or any toxic chemicals into my child's body. And after reading the ingredients of vaccinations, I thought, oh no, why on earth would I put these toxic chemicals into a pure bloodstream, into a perfect immune system? My children, thankfully, were born healthy, and I'd like them to stay healthy. So I decided not to inject toxic chemicals into their already pure, perfect bloodstreams. And I would like to tell you about that experience. I have 4 children from ages 19, 12, 6, and 2. And so for my oldest will be 20 this year. So for 20 years, he's never been on a sick appointment to a doctor. None of them, my 4 children, have never been on a sick appointment to a doctor, and they rarely get sick at all. We did not experience any of the normal childhood diseases or sicknesses, like we didn't experience chicken pox, we didn't experience mumps, measles, no colds, really no flus, no sicknesses whatsoever, no colic. They did not experience colic as babies. None of them have any allergies to anything. They can eat anything. They have never been picky eaters. They've always eaten whatever I put in front of them, and they prefer healthy foods even now. My oldest has wants to become a chef. He's been cooking dinner for us since he was 14, and now he is practically managing a restaurant at 19 years old. They want to give him his own restaurant at 21. Then my daughter is 12, who is now beginning to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and she loves to bake. So she's baking sugar-free, gluten-free products, And my youngest, my 6-year-old, he loves to eat healthy foods. He loves to drink water, and my baby is still nursing at 3 years old, and I did extensive breastfeeding with all of them, um, and they have never ever been sick. So that's 4 children, 20 years, no doctor's appointments. We haven't had health insurance for many years now. We haven't carried it, and we haven't needed it. So we have saved lots and lots of money in that area, though we have made buying good quality food. We've made that a priority, so we buy organic food as much as possible, and when it's on sale. So not absolutely everything that comes into our house is organic. They have candy now and then, but it's a treat to them. We don't drink sodas or pops, but every once in a while they will maybe have a pop as a treat. But so anyway, the other thing that I experienced with my children, with my unvaccinated children, is that was really eye-opening, was especially when I had my first child, because I didn't know any different. I took my child to the parks, daily, almost regularly, and my first child was talking at 2 years old or before 2 years old, and I would get the same response from every mother at the park, that they could not believe that my child was already talking so clearly. And I received this same comment over and over and over again from mothers at the park who had vaccinated children who were not speaking at all. They were not able to say even mama or the simplest of words, and they would comment to me that they couldn't believe how well my child was speaking. Like I said, I was a first-time mom. I didn't realize that maybe my child was talking better or speaking more or using more words, and I didn't know any different. But I began to receive that comment over and over from other moms, and many times they would be very distraught and upset and almost sad, and wondering, looking at me like, what's wrong with my child? And I wish I would have said something, but I usually kept my mouth shut. I had suspicions that it might have been from vaccinations, or the lack of vaccinations on my child's part, that maybe was helping them to, their development was further along. But I didn't say anything because I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But I knew in my heart of hearts that it was maybe a combination of things. My children were not vaccinated. They were fed mostly healthy organic foods, and I also did extensive breastfeeding. So I believe it was a combination of those three things that was furthering their development. I believe many children are behind as well, because they're not breastfed. Breastfeeding obviously is the best way to go. Not everyone is able to do that, I understand, but I think it was a combination of those things. But that was really heartbreaking to see these mothers who were very saddened or discouraged, or maybe confused as to why their child wasn't speaking at 2 and 3 years old. And I would hear other children older than that, 4, 5, and 6, whose verbal development was very babyish, or they would talk very babyish. So I am certain that vaccinations can decrease or inhibit their mental development, as well as their physical health. So I just wanted to share that, because this is such a hot topic right now, and everyone is maybe deciding whether or not to vaccinate their children or not. Um, my children have been in school as well, so they've been around other children. We're not just some homeschooling isolated family. We go out into the world every day, grocery stores, bookstores, libraries, parks. We're constantly around other people and always socializing. And so it's not that my children haven't been exposed to certain illnesses, such as the COVID. I mean, none of them have worn masks except for my older son, who's required to wear one at work. But my younger children have not worn masks with me throughout this pandemic, and none of them have been sick. I heard recently that the chances for children to contract the COVID is as close to zero as it possibly can get. I heard that from a medical doctor just recently. So it hurts me when I see small children wearing masks because it's absolutely unnecessary. So that is my experience with my unvaccinated children. That's 20 years of no doctor visits, no sickness, and perfect health. So I wish you all the best. And remember, we have been given the most incredible immune systems. And when they are left untampered with, and our bodies are given quality food and ingredients, we can all experience perfect health. God bless. Thanks for listening.